The American vice president has called Britain out on the world stage. Again, basically calling the pushback against the Raise the Colours campaign craziness. This rot that we've seen spreading through Britain for years now is basically an international joke, and our closest ally is now threatening to intervene. For years now, we've been told that we're the ones in the wrong for wanting to fly our own flag, for wanting the borders secure, wrong for being angry. But now the highest levels of the American government are looking at the UK and saying exactly what we've been saying all along. So, in February, Vance stood up at the Munich Security Conference. So, he's done this before, but he warned then that Britain was walking down a very dark path of censorship. And a few months later, he met David Lammy and told him to his face that Britain's new speech laws are a direct threat to American tech companies and even American citizens. So the message from Washington is pretty clear. Britain is no longer a beacon of freedom, but a cautionary tale of liberty in retreat. So the establishment will immediately, or did, try to dismiss Vance. They screeched that one of his specific examples about Scottish law was inaccurate, and German officials called his warnings an unacceptable interference. But they just want to focus on the trivial details, and they're missing the point entirely, most likely deliberately. But Vance may have got one detail slightly wrong, but he captured the spirit of the censorious new laws perfectly. He diagnosed the problem, even if he misread one of the symptoms. The establishment just clings to these minor technicalities because they can't face the big picture, and that's that our closest ally now views the United Kingdom as a budding authoritarian state. The entire world is basically watching us now. And, much to Starmer's pain, Washington is now particularly interested in the victims of a new form of British tyranny, which all starts, as I'm sure you're aware, with the jailing of one particular mother. Lucy Connolly was released after 9 months, and she's branded herself Keir Starmer's political prisoner. And this story has gone global. Lucy Connolly confirmed that she's meeting with lawyers from President Trump's administration, who are, in her words, very interested in the way things are going in the UK. A Washington insider has also confirmed it. Her case, they said, illustrates the harms J.D. Vance warned about in Munich. So the prosecutors and apologists will say that she wasn't a political prisoner, that she pleaded guilty to inciting racial hatred. And they'll point to that WhatsApp message where she joked about her raging tweet and playing the mental health card, claiming it shows she wasn't remorseful. But, it wasn't a call to arms. Of course, it was an angry tweet that she shouldn't have posted. But her crime wasn't incitement. It was saying something raw and politically incorrect. And the state punished her essentially not because she was a real threat, but for an inconvenient thought, really, that she had posted. And she was basically crushed by the full politically motivated weight of the state. But think about this now. The US president's own team is meeting with a British citizen our government has branded a dangerous criminal. At this point, the British state has lost all moral authority on the world stage. It's basically just a shadow diplomacy at this point. It's a joke. We're at a point now where the fight for British freedom is basically being waged in the halls of American power. On September the 3rd, Farage is scheduled to testify before the US Congress, and the subject of the hearing is pretty telling. So the US Congress is holding an official hearing on how the UK and Europe have become a threat to American freedom. Farage has confirmed that the case of Lucy Connolly will be a pretty central point in his evidence, and he's going to tell the American lawmakers basically how our government is censoring critics of their failing policies. And the hearing is going to examine how laws like the UK's disastrous Online Safety Act don't just silence Brits, but they're actually threatening the rights of Americans online as well. So all of the usual suspects are already calling this an outrageous interference in British sovereignty, that Farage is just colluding with a foreign power to undermine our own laws, all just to help some American tech giants. But when our own Parliament is passing laws that strip us of our most basic ancient rights, it's not a betrayal to seek help from allies who still believe in those freedoms. It's got nothing to do with sovereignty and everything to do with liberty. The same laws that are used to silence ordinary people like Lucy Connolly are the ones that threaten free enterprise. The principle is the same. Freedom of speech is not negotiable. We're at a point now where the UK's woke laws are so dangerous that they could actually trigger a trade war between us and our closest ally. But as if all of this international humiliation isn't enough, there's one thing that just keeps rearing its head. Elon Musk has been tweeting about it again, and it just keeps coming back to it, basically. It's that decades-long horrific scandal of the grooming gangs. I mean, obviously it was June, I think, that Keir dismissed calls for the new inquiry as just jumping on the far-right bandwagon. And Starmer's government was then eventually forced into a humiliating U-turn and had to announce one of their own. All of that because of the official report from Baroness Casey, which basically admitted the truth that we've all known for years. They let children be, I can't say it on YouTube, but you know what they allowed to happen? All because they were scared of being called racist. We know what the report confirmed: massive over-representation of Asian and Pakistani heritage men in pretty much all the areas they examined. And this was the very truth that the establishment tried to hide. And obviously Keir Starmer was Director of Public Prosecutions when his organisation decided not to prosecute the Rochdale gang in 2009, citing victim unreliability. So the state that threw Lucy Connolly in jail is completely impotent when it comes to deporting convicted foreign national grooming gang members. The full picture is now clear. This isn't just a series of separate news stories. It's basically a chain reaction. The establishment's original sin of prioritising political correctness over child safety created righteous anger. Their response wasn't to fix the problem, but to crush the anger with authoritarian speech laws. And that authoritarianism has now triggered an international backlash from an America that sees our weakness not just as a tragedy, but as a direct threat to Western freedom itself. This is essentially a civilizational moment. It's a battle for the soul of Britain. You know, are we a free people, or will we allow a failed, morally bankrupt elite to silence us while they continue to run the country into the ground? Fortunately, much to the Labour government's disgust, the entire world is now watching us. Anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. If you could like, share, or subscribe, that would be much appreciated. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you happy that we've got this international spotlight on us, or would you rather people keep their nose out? Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching.